we'll be learning about how to build a tic-tac-toe game using Python. By the end of this session, you should be able to build a tic-tac-toe game using Python. I'm excited to get started and I hope the same from you. Now let's first understand the board positions and moves for the tic-tac-toe game. So here we will have three boards, that is three rows, board 0, board 1 and board 2. And we will have three columns, column number 0, column number 1 and column number 2. So for the first board 0 and column 0, we have position 0, 0. For board 0 and column 1, we have position 0, 1. For board 0 and column 2, we have position 0, 2. Similarly, for board 1 and column 0, we have 1, 0. Then we have 1, 1 as position, 1, 2 as position. Then we have board 2, 2, 0, where 2 is row, 0 is column number. And here we have 2, 1 and then 2, 2. Now let's see the moves. So in total, we have 9 moves. So we need to here remember that the board positions or board number starts from 0 and moves are from 1 to 9. Now let's see another set of board positions and moves. So here in this board, we'll be having diagonals, and first we will have the column number and then the row number. So if you see here, we have 0, 0. So here we have the board positions that takes the column number first and then row number. If you see here, we have 0, 0. Then so here you see we have 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0. Then we have 0, 1. We are here for first considering the column number and then the row number, that is the number board number. So it is 1, 1, 2, 1. Then we have 0, 2, 1, 2 and 2, 2. Moves will remain same, that is from 1 to 9. Now let's hop to the PyCharm and see how we can build a non-graphical tic-tac-toe game only based on Python coding. Let's get started. Now here I'm on my PyCharm, so I'm gonna go to the project name, go to new, create a new Python file and name this to be tic-tac-toe. Hit enter and so here I'll say tic-tac-toe using Python. Now, the first thing what we will do is we will try to print or display the board for our tic-tac-toe. So here I'll write print or display board. And what I'll do is here first I'll take a variable equal board and that will be equal to my empty list. Now what I'll do is I'll take a variable x equals 0. I want to append space. So what I'll do, I'll say while this variable x is not equals 3, I want to append to board. What I want to append is I want to append the spaces to my list. So here I'll say for I in range 3. So when I take range 3, it means it is 0 to 3. And the range, when it is 0 to 3, it will be only 0, 1, and 2. 3 would get excluded. And then I want to increment the value of x. So I'll say x plus equals 1. This is as good as doing x equals to x plus 1. Now we will write a function to display or print the board. So here I'll say print board. Now how do I write a function? It's using def keyword. Here I'll say def print underscore board parenthesis colon. And now what I'll do here is I will run a for loop. I'll say for I in board. Here we have in total 3 board positions, board 0, board 1, and board 2. So the slicing I'll take is 0 to 3. It means it will be only board 0, board 1, board 2. Because this is a slice syntax, it will include 0, but it will exclude 3. It is slicing from 0 to 3, including 0, excluding 3. So we get only 3 values here, 0, 1, and 2. Right? So now what I'll do is I'll make use of a print statement in order to print the board. Now, how will I print the board? I'll make use of the pipe symbol and the placeholders. This way. All right. So here, if you see, we have 3 positions. And then I'll make use of format method of print statement dot format of, to which I will pass I of 0, comma I of 1, and then comma I of 2. And then coming out of the function, I will call the function print board. Now let's go and see how this looks like. So I'm gonna go and run this. So I'm gonna select run tic-tac-toe. This should print a board for us. There we go. This is the simplest board that I have created using pipe symbols and the placeholder. Right. Now what we will do is we will try writing the actual function to move. So here we will have 2 players. One will be your X and the other will be your O, right? So what I'll do is I'll try to get the moves from the player by writing a function known as player underscore move that takes icon as an argument here. So what icon here is, icon is a generalized term for the player names like X or Y, sorry, X or O. And here I'll say if this icon value is equals X, we'll have a variable number equals 1, or else if the value of icon equals O, and then I'll have number equals 2. Now inside the same player move function, what I want is I want to write a while loop. So here while true. So this loop will only terminate if we have break statement inside this while loop, because I'm not giving any specific condition. I'm just using the Boolean value true here. Okay. So now I will say print something like your turn player dot format of icon. All right. So I want to specify whose turn it is going to be, either it is X turn or O's turn. Right. So now what I'll do inside this, I'll write a variable called choice and I'll take the input from the user. So here I'll say enter your move, and the move is supposed to be from 1 to 9. As we have already seen, the moves can only be 1 to 9, whereas the board positions can be from 0 to 8, right? Because the board positioning starts from 0. So it will be from 0 to 8. Though we have 9 positions, but when we start counting from 0, board positions would become 0 to 8, right? And now, what I'll do, I'll check if whatever choice the player is entering, okay, if it is in the numbers 1 to 9. So I'll say if choice is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and the value for choice is not equals space, I'm not supposed to write colon here. Okay. So what we will do, we will typecast this choice into int of choice. So we are converting whatever choice we have here, we are converting into number, because here the numbers I'm actually using is in the form of string, because space is a string and the numbers are in quotations, or the moves from 1 to 9 are in the form of string. So that's why I'm trying to convert that into integer. Okay. Now once it is done, here I'll say if the choice in, we will take the first three moves, okay, list of first three moves. That is, if the choice is in 1, 2, and 3, what should happen? If board of 0, choice minus 1 equals space. Now what does this mean? So here board 0 means the board number 0 or the first board, choice minus 1. If the player is entering choice 1, okay, so 1 minus 1 would become 0, so the board position becomes 0 of 0. If the user or the player is entering choice 2, 2 minus 1 becomes 1, and the board position becomes 0 of 1. If the player is entering the choice 3, 3 minus 1 becomes 2, and the board position becomes 0 of 2. Right? So this is the basic idea. We are trying to get the board position in this way. And then here I'll say board of 0, then choice of minus 1 is equals icon, and then I'll try printing the board, calling the board function, and then I have to break it. And also we will have an else here saying if the board, if this value is not true, right, what should happen? It should print something like the space is already taken. All right. If the choice is not in these three, then it should say the space is already taken. And then I can say continue. And then the next part I can do is I can check for the next three choice. So here I'll say if LF choice in 4, 5, 6. These are the next list of moves, that is 4, 5, 6. And here I'll say if board. Now the board number changes, so this becomes board 1, and choice minus 4 equals space. And then here I can say board of 1, choice of minus 4 is equals icon. I can go and print the board function. And then I can say break. And then else that says the space is already taken. And then continue. Now here, if you see here, the board position is 1. And if the user enters 4, okay, choice 4, 4 minus 4 becomes 0. So the board positions become 1 of 0. So it's on the board number 1, right? 5 minus 4 becomes 1. The board positions become 1 on 1, 1 of 1. And if the choice is 6, 6 minus 4 becomes 2, and the board position becomes 1 of 2, right? Now we'll see if choice is in the last list of moves, that is 7, 8, and 9. So here I'll say 7, 8, 9. And then if board of 2 is choice minus 7 this time, Here I'll say board of 2 choice minus 7 equals icon, and then I can print my board or call my board function. Then I can say brick and an else that corresponds to my if that says the space is already taken. And then here I can say continue. And lastly, here I will have an else that says the space does not exist. All right. And then there will be a continue. We'll see when we completely go and run this, we'll see how this looks like. So right now we have written a code or a function that is going to get the moves from the player. Now the next thing that we are supposed to do is we are supposed to write a function for the victory of the player. So here I'll name the function to be victory that takes icon as an argument. This icon can be either X or O. Now we need to mention the board positions. We need to check the condition here. So here I'll say something like if board of 0, 0 equals icon and board of 0, 1 equals icon and board of 0, 2 equals icon. Then we'll have OR. So this way we will have 8 conditions to check, including the diagonals. So I'll have a OR here. Now the next thing what I'll do is I'll simply use this. I'll copy this, paste it over here. Let me copy this and paste it over here. And this time I'm only going to check the change the positions. So this was 0, 0. Now this becomes this becomes now we'll have the second set of board positions. So that should be 1, 0, 1, 1, and 1, 2. So here I'm going to change this to 1, 1 and this to 1, 2. Similarly, I can go and have the next set of board positions, that is board of we'll first write the structure and then we can fill in the value for board position. So here I'll say is equals icon and board of equals icon. So now let's write the third position. So here it should be 2 of 0, 2 of 1, and then 2 of 2. And then we can just go and write the reverse of the first one. So here we have 0, 0. That will remain same 0, 0. Okay, because here we are only changing the row into column and column into row, right? So here I'll say this is 1 of 0 and then equals icon, and then I can say board of 2 of 0 equals icon. Here I'll say or slash. Here also that should be or and slash. And then board of. So I'm going to now reverse this one. So it should be 0, 1 equals icon and board of. 1 of 1 will become the same. 1 of 1 equals 0 and board of 1 of 2 will become 2 of 1. So now I'll say this is 2 of 1 equals icon. Then I'm going to say or. Now we need to reverse this one. So this is 2, 0 right now. So that will become 0 of 2. So this is 0 of 2 equals icon and board of 2 of 1 becomes 1 of 2 equals icon and board of equals icon. So here 2 of 2 remains same, that is 2 of 2. Now we need to write the diagonals. So let's say board of. The first diagonal I'll take is 0 of 0 equals icon and board of 1 of 1. So 1 of 1 equals icon and then board of that should be 2 of 2 equals icon or slash. I missed the bracket here. And now the last board position for diagonal. So the last one will have is 0 of 2 equals icon and board of 1 of 1. The center one remains same. That's why it is 1 of 1 for both the diagonals. And we have board of equals icon. So lastly, we will have 2 of 0. Yeah. Now we don't have to write this or and slash. Instead, we can just have a colon here because this is an if condition. So let me make this properly indented. And now, let's say written true, else there might be some syntax error. We'll just go and check that in a while. So this is written false. Now let's see what error it gives. Yeah, there we go. Here is the error. There was an extra bracket and this should be indented properly. So now once it is done, what I'll do is I'll write a function. Not a function, we'll first run a while loop, okay, in order to check if this works. So here I'll say while true, we'll call the function player move with icon X And then here I'll say if victory. To this I'll pass again the parameter x because victory function is taking an icon. Okay, so then here I'll say print x wins, congrats. Then we'll break, and here we will say elif draw. We'll write the draw function later on, not now. Here I'll say player move of O, and then if victory of O, it should print O wins, congrats, and it should break. And then lastly, out of the while loop, it should say something like thanks for playing. Let's go and see if this works. So let me rerun. All right. So now you see it says your turn, player Rex. We'll do one thing. We'll have a colon over here so that it looks nicer. So now when I rerun, okay. So first I'll say the move for X is 2. So you see, this is my second position. Then I want on O on 3, right? And then X on 6. I want O on 5. All right. I want X on 1. And then I basically want X to win this time. So what I'll do is I'll put my O on this position. Okay. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And then X I want on my 4th position. And then O I want on my 9th position. And then when I put X here, basically X wins. So I'll say 7. And now you see it gives me an output saying X wins, congrats. Right. Similarly, I can also make O win. So this time we'll try making O win. So here I'll say 2, 3, and 1. Let's say O is on center. All right. I want X on my 4th. I want O on my 6th. Now I want X on my position 8. And then you see, if I put 9 here, so see, O is already 1. O wins, congrats. Now what I want is I want to make a draw. So here I'll say 2, 4, 1, and 3. All right. So I can say, if I say 5 here, okay, and I can put O at 8th position. And because I want a draw, I don't want to put X on 9. So I'll say, let's say, okay. And then now you see, I'll have O on my 6th. Oh, sorry, by this actually X is winning. Let me try putting the moves by which we can get a draw. So let's say 1, 2, 3. Let's say this is 7, 4. Now X will be 6, right? O will be 9 and x is 8. So you see what's actually happening? All the places have been filled, but still it is asking me for the moves, right? So the reason here is I actually want to, at this moment, I want to say that it is a draw. So for that also I need to write a function. Let's go and see how to write that draw function. So after this victory function, before this while loop, I want to have a small function that says def draw, that will not take any argument. Okay. And here I'll say if space is not in board of 0 and space not in board of 1 and also space not in board of 2, okay, this is the condition that I have given. Now it should say true, else it should return false. Else it should return false. All right. So now I need to call this draw function. So I need to do that in my while loop here. Once victory is done, after breaking, I need to have an elif that says draw. And here we are simply going to print that says it's a draw. And again, we have to break, or it's, we have already breaked here. So let's not write the break again, but here I'll say elif draw. Here I'll say it's a draw. Now let's go and see. Let's rerun. And this time we'll make it to draw. I'll say 1, 2, 3. O will be, let's say 4. And X will be, let's say 7. Now O will be on my 5th. Okay. X will be on 8th. And O will be on 9th. And X would be on 6th. So you see now it says it's a draw. Again, it's continuously running your turn player 0 because the reason is, let's not have this continue after each and every condition. Okay. So now what we will do is we will check for different conditions. All right. So what will happen if I put a move 0 here? So you see it directly says me your turn player X. What will happen if I give some number like 100? So it will again say your turn player X. What happens if I simply enter? So it's a invalid literal. Or if I try giving negative value, if I say something like -4 and you see it says your turn player X. So I want to, whenever I do this, I want this to be displayed as invalid input, right? So for that, what I will do is I'll go here in my player move function where I have collected the moves from the player. So here what I will do is down here, okay, where I'm checking for the choice, it should be properly aligned. So if you see, here is my if choice. I want to go down this way. And then here I can write an else that says print invalid input. And then I can say continue. Okay. So now when I go and rerun, Now you see, if I say 10, because this 10 is not from 1 to 9. So you see, it says invalid input, and again it starts your turn player X. If I say -1, you see, again it gives me the same. If I say 100, it still gives me the same, saying it is an invalid input. So anything that is not in between 1 and 9, including 1 and 9, will give you the invalid input, right? So now I'll again rerun. Okay, here if I say I want X to be on my position 2, again if I say 2, what will happen? So you see, it says the space is already taken. So now if I try entering O somewhere else, now you see O is entered somewhere else. Okay, so now let me put 1 and 3 and 5. O is, let's say, 8. And then I want my X on 7 and my O on 8 and again X on 9. So now you see it says X wins. Congrats and thanks for playing. So here if you see there is some problem in the moves. Let me go and check the positions I have given. So here it is 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. This is 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. And then I have 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. All right, so I missed one of the positions. So what I'll do here is I'll say 2, 1, 3, 5, and let's say X is on 4. And let's say O is on 6. And X is on, let's say, 7, 8, and 9. Now you see it's a draw. And then it gives me your turn player. Oh. So why is it saying this your turn player row after it's a draw? Because I haven't say a break after my draw. So now when I go and say break and rerun, okay, so I'll say 1, 2, 3, 5, let's say 7, 4, 6. All right, and O I want on 9 and X I want on 8. So now you see it's a draw. Thanks for playing. Because I haven't written break, it was again continuing because of the while loop. So this was about how we can have a tic-tac-toe game built using Python. It's a purely non-graphical, it's not graphic based, but it's only purely coding based game. So I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much.